Okay, good morning, Joel. So before we do prayer. You have to think about whatever you just like listens or learnings, whatever is for bring all the sentient beings. Your motivation should be clear. So when you're reciting the prayer books, or you should think that you wish all sentient beings to get enlightenment or free from suffering and so on. Then we do the prayers. Okay. So just like the words actually, where's the words? Where? So within the, I just explained something might be you already know. So if you go, I don't know, there's no page number. So there's a four line, right? Taking refuge and prayer for the refuge and bodhicitta. So the two lines indicated taking you are going to take refuge in the three jewels, so just like Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And the two latter is to whatever you accumulate merit, you are benefiting for the sake of all sentient beings. So when you recite the text, you just not only just reciting, you have to also need to think, contemplate it on that one. So that whatever you listens, whatever you readings, whatever do things for the sake of all sentient beings, you have to be motivated like that. And also, if you go through the four immeasurables, comes like all this wish all the sentient beings happiness and its causes or whatever. So these are also dealings with other sentient beings. So we are doing the when we reciting prayer, we pray for the sake of all sentient beings. So just not only reciting. So from your own mind, you have to think whatever you read or whatever you discuss. We our discussions might be you heard about the we are talking about the Buddhist point of view of mental. So it's kind of way to lead you to the get overcome from suffering. This is one point of that one. So when you reciting, you have to also need to contemplate it on that one. Thank you. I take refuge in a Buddha, Dharma, and by the merit gained in this practice, may I attain a state of Buddhahood for the benefit of us. From now until I take refuge in a Buddha, Dharma, and by the merit gained in this practice, may I attain a state of Buddha for the benefit of us. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in a Buddha, Dharma, and so. And by the merit gained in this practice, may I attain this for the benefit. May all sentient beings be never separate from joyful bliss. May all sentient beings abide equanimity, free of bias, attachment, and anger. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings be separate from joyful bliss. May all sentient beings abide equanimity, free of bias, attachment, and anger. May all sentient beings May all sentient beings be free from suffering, and may all sentient beings be separate from joyful. May all sentient beings abide equanimity, free of bias, attachment. Here they girt out, filled with the summer of incense, covered with the blanket of flower. The great mountains, the 409 red of sun. In my mind, I make they just everything. So so I don't know how to say exciting. So any have anyone have any questions about the previous class, or we directly start from the inference or inferential cognizer? Anyone have questions? You're gonna ask. I will try my best to give you answer. Mark. So okay, might be yeah. So today I'm going to check on the inference or inferential cognizer. So the definition is already here, right? I can read them, but I will give you a little bit explanations on the definitions. So the beginning, just like as for the direct perceiver, we have two kind, right? So the valid and the subsequent valid perception or the prime direct perceptions and the valid the what subsequent. So like same like the indifference or inferential cognizer also have two, right? Valid and and the subsequent one. So over here they give the explanation of the valid subsequent valid inferential cognizer and also the definition of inferential cognizer. So we look for the page, this page. So the definition is of an inferential cognizer is a determinative knower which depend on its basis a correct science is incontrovertible with the regards to its object of comprehensions a hidden phenomena, right? Then the definition of valid or the prime indifferent knower is uh, a knower that depend upon its basis a correct science is nearly incontrovertible with the regard to its object and the comprehension a hidden phenomena. So just like so we need to know that what is the valid and the against the come again what is meant by valid, right? So the newly knower is known as the valid in this school. So whatever you see the first time is known as the valid in this school. So we are now learning in the sutric schools, common between the sutric and the mind only schools. So in these schools the valid means for if you the knowing anything for incontrovertible knower which know for the first time is called the valid. Okay, then same is like that. So over here just like dealing with a depend on its basis the correct science, right? So correct science is means that the sign which possess the three modes of proof is called correct sign. Okay. So the sign so it's called that which possess the modes of three modes of proof, right? It's called sight. So I will tell you what is the three modes of proof. Now it's coming, right? So what are the three modes? So just like if I tell you example this the subject sound, we said it's impermanent because it's product, right? So this is called as. So one thing is you need to know difference between the signs and the consequence. So right now we are talking about the sign. We are not talking about the consequence. That in English translated, but mostly the same, but in Tibetan little bit different. For the ending of the words are different. So that's why here. So for example, like the subject sound. But we are proving that some of the non-Buddhist schools, Samkhya schools, they talk about the sound is permanent. So just like for the view of them, right, they think the sound is permanent. So to make correct, first we have to use the consequence. We cannot apply directly the sign of the reason. Because of because of their totally wrong totally view of, because of that we cannot prove directly the reason. So we need to use the how to say consequence, right? So it will come actually in the text. It will I will in the letter it will show you what's the. So now here talking about the three modes of proof, right? So what are the three modes? So we call it property of subject. So we talk about the sign. What is the sign? If we write the subject sound is impermanent because it's product. So that we have to check the product is the property of subject, the sound or not, right? So they talk about the property of the subject. So we have to look. So so whether we have to check whether the sound or the subject is the reason. So just like over here, we have to know that the sound is product or not. You got it? So this is called the. You don't go. You can tell just like no. If you didn't know, you can tell me directly. I will try to explain this a little bit. So you got it. You didn't got it. So just like I will give you the sign. Actually, we call it tak reason. So how we in the law of in the way we debate, how we debate, right? So we say we are discuss on a subject, any kind of subject. So just like giving example right now is sound. If I use the sound, so we say we are proving sound is impermanent. And because of reason what? We say product. Because of product, we proving sound is impermanent. Right. So proving sound is impermanent because of the product. Yeah, produced. So the subject, okay, what we are discussing, what we want to do. So the second is predicate. Predicate. So we are proving, we say dubja is called propendum. So we are proving sound is impermanent. Sound is impermanent. That is called propendum, the proof, what we are proving, or the thesis. So what we are doing. So the reason now come. What is the reason, right? So we call it tak. So it's a proving sign is called what over here we are using product, right? If it is product, it necessarily be changeable, right? Because of being it was product is come need to be related to the cause and condition. So if it need to be related to the cause and condition, then it should be changeable. So it's changeable means impermanent, right? So if it's changing, we cannot say this. We cannot say this is permanent. We have that should be impermanent, right? So we are now here. The propendum or the thesis or the what we have proved is like sound is impermanent. The sign is like reason we are using its product. You got it? So there's a three. So the subject and the predicate and the sign. So this is a page. Mark, can you copy it? It might be easy to understand. Sorry. So so here that now we are talking in a three modes, right? What is the correct sign? So we call it which possess the three modes of proof is called the correct sign, right? The basis on the. So first is the property of the subject. Second subject over here we are talking about the subject sound. So that we have to check the reason is the property of the subject or not. You got it? Signs, reasons, sign or reasons. So we call tak in Tibetan. So it's sometimes it translated into sign or sometimes uses a reason. You got it? So and the second mode is called forward perversion. Forward. 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 Forward perversion. So like if it is product, it necessarily be changeable. That means impermanent, right? So this is called forward perversions, right? So it seems like if it's necessary is a product, it necessarily be impermanent, changeable, impermanent. So that is called forward perversions, right? So for the sign, either it should be the instance of the predicate or equal to the predicate. Otherwise, if you use the sign, just like generally, if I give examples, sound and impermanent, whatever we say, sound or whatever something we listen is called sound, right? So if I want to prove sound is the how to say ninja something to listen is called actually the sound definition of sound is called something which is to able to listen is called sound. So now if you want to prove sound is something to listen by using reason impermanent, then it doesn't have the forward perversions. Do you know why? Because if it is impermanent, it not necessarily be art that we is able to hear, right? You got it? So if the reason is, so we talk about the general and the instant. Generally and instant. Just like if you talk about the impermanent, we're talking in general. So if it comes to the sound, it's one part of the impermanent, right? So which is bigger? Impermanent is bigger than the sound. Definitely, right? So like right now we are in this is, if I use like the subject sound, it is something to hear. We say because it is impermanent. If I say this one, then this is wrong reason, because it doesn't have what forward perversion is not there. Because if it is impermanent, it not necessarily be something to hear, right? You got it? You got it? Kind of. If you're down, you can tell me. So the in over here actually inferential is mostly dealing with the correct basis of sign and so on. So that's why a little bit, I don't know. So the third, you bring my one. You don't have. So if you look this page, right? If you look this page, now here we talk about the subject, predicate, and the sign or the reasons, whatever. Okay, we so call it reasons, or sometimes we call it a sign or whatever. And so we are proving something. So proving sound is impermanent because of the reasons product. So the three modes of the proof is like, first is like product is the subject of sound. It means that sound is impermanent. You don't need to think about the other way. This means sound is impermanent. Sound is product. I mean, sound is product. One thing. Now second is forward perversion. So if it is forward, means you have to go through the reasons to the predicate. Okay, you have to go from reason to predicate. So if it is a product, it necessarily be a impermanent. Okay, that is called forward perversions, right? You got it? Now the last is reverse perversions. So what is meant by reverse? The predicate, the direct contradictions of predicate. What is the direct contradictions of impermanent? That is permanent, right? So it's like if it is permanent, it necessarily be not a product. So that is called reverse perversions. You got it? You got it? What is, yeah? Yes. Okay. I think you have questions. So this is called the three modes of sign. Yeah, three modes of proof. Sorry. Chokje, Jacob, Dokep. So now, depend on the basis a correct signs. There's a three types of correct signs. Okay, what are three types? So the correct reasons of cause and effect, we call it effect. Correct reasons of effect. So just like smoke in the mountain, there's a fire. We prove there's because of the smoke. Smoke is the result effect of the fire, right? So we prove there's a fire because of the smoke, right? Second is like nature, uh, nature identity, same identity. So just like we proving sound is impermanent because it's product. So the product and impermanent are in one nature entity, right? They are same. So just like we told it that same entity, different isolation. So in our we give something which is changeable, we say impermanent. Something which arises, we call it product. Which was produced, we call it product. But we are actually dealing with the one point. Whatever we call it product or whatever we call it impermanent, it's actually one point. Just like if I say for table, we say table is impermanent. Table is impermanent because it's changing, right? Then we say table is product. Table is product because it was produced by cause and conditions and so on. So we call it product. So they are called it one entity, different isolation. Means in your conceptual thought, they are in a different way, you give in different name. You got it? So different isolate. You got it? Think so? Example like? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So changing, or you are talking about the changing. So other things like we call it, this is think because it's usable, we call it things, right? So we call it in the lower school we call it we call it truth, ultimate truth. In the basis of their level, don't think about the ultimate truth, don't think in the high levels, okay? On the basis of their level, they call it ultimate truth because it's through the whatever these through actions like helping thinking to produce product result and so on, they are as ultimate in the nature of their thing. They are called ultimate nature. Yeah. No, the table itself is changing every momentary. How? This is product. Yesterday it was here, today it was here. You feel like same, but actually the whatever the chemical actions and they are moving. We cannot see something. We cannot see is the chemical actions are moving, right? Changing, and also it become decay. Just like if you keep, yeah, if it will be, yeah, 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 disintegrate. So yeah, if it is disintegrate, what? Yeah, disintegrate in 500. Yeah, it happened not only at that time, right? It have causes and so on. Yeah, long time. So they are called changing every day. Actually, we things like same. Just like your we are appearance like yesterday was same, today was same. Actually, sometimes it's broke here, but inside broken. We look in the outside. Actually, it's look like same or whatever. Yeah, that is uh, whether you sit over here, you call it. Yeah, whether you sit here, you call it. Did you call it a chair? So normally you sit. Oh, yeah. So it's depend on your naming, right? So actually, in high level, we are talking about you are dealing with your only name, right? Your imputation, mental imputation, and so on. They're talking about just like so. Mhm. I didn't got you. Yeah, your mind is. That's right. Ah, Mingsam, namely. So we talk. One thing is in a high level. Uh huh. Now here, right now we not going in the namely. We are not talking about that one. That is highly in the Madhyamika schools. They talk about it there. Means that it function like that. So we call it table. Yeah. Right now it's what do you say? What? So oh, no, that's uh no actually right now we are here studying about the your conceptual how you just like see something which is hidden phenomena for you. So we the here I will talk you just like we divide the phenomena into two categories like manifest and the hidden, right? Manifest are we don't need to use the sign, we can see directly, like here directly or whatever. They are called a manifest, we see directly. And also the some are hidden, we need to use by sign reason. So like if I say impermanent, right? You that is hidden, right? Impermanent is hidden, we call it slightly hidden, but this is not the even within the hidden phenomena there's also different levels. Yeah, table itself is the manifest, it's we can see directly, but the character like it was product, it was impermanent, special it was impermanent. And you can talk about the emptiness of the table. These are the hidden, slightly hidden phenomena. We need to use the reason to prove this is impermanent, right? So we only understand 1 minute. We only understand it is impermanent because of the we proving, because of we reasoning, right? Then we can understand. So we call it analytical meditation, right? 1 point. So analytical meditations, making your mind sharper, proving yourself. This is lower school, but it also need to be talk about the analytical meditations. Yeah, meditation is same everywhere. If you talk about the meditation, it's same. Whether you go to the high schools or whether you go to the lower schools, there's a placement meditation, analytical meditation. Analytical meditation is same definition. So the way of no. So analytic lower school also need to be analyzed, right? So one thing is, if you want to tame your mind, without analytical meditation, you cannot tame your mind. So lower school, you lower school, they tame their mind or not? That's the point. They if they then used to, of course they are attending nirvana. Yeah, all lower school they attend nirvana or not? Lower schools they attend self liberation or not? Now thing is lower school. Now thing lower school they have someone who enter into the path or not? Lower school path of law. Th- of course, right? We talk about the five path, right, into 15 categories. We divide. If you make more elaborate, it was talking about the 15. So 5 Hiriya path, 5 solitary razor path, 5 Mahayana path. So it's become 15. 5, 5, 5, 5, 3 is a 15. 5, right? 15. So just like, so wherever we talk about the lower school, right here, we talk about the, just like talking in the view of their, one thing is how did they talk about eliminating the ignorance or not? One thing, they, in the basis of their ignorance, right, they have to so they also talk about the source of suffering is ignorance. So they talk about the antidote for the ignorance. If talk about the antidotes of ignorance, then they have to do practice. So practice should be done through analytical meditation. The one placement meditation is to keep your mind on that what you are analyzing. Yeah, no, and just like your mind. So meditation only deals with the mind, right? Mental, not with the, within the mind you only deal with the mental consciousness, not with the sense consciousness. When you talk about the meditations, you are talking. Yeah, cognition is mental consciousness. So this that inferential cognizer only come through reason. We arise something because of some reason. It's we know something. Just like, yeah, by reasoning, through reasoning we understand something, right? Yeah, that is mentally right. Reason cannot use for eyes, right? So that's what this is the point. Yeah, that's right. So it's kind of academic. Buddhism is a kind of academic. Not only we talk about the, it's not matter, it's the reality. You cannot say made up, it's a reality. So just like one child in in so so for mind, this is not a wasting time, of course. Academic, this is not academic. Kind of making your mind sharper actually. So one thing is, in we people in we have two kinds of mind. One is called dull, right? Dull faculty, and one is the sharp faculty. Whatever you, whether you, so for the beginning, we don't know who was sharp or who are dull, right? So the beginning we had started from the level of how we appear the things, right? We never jump to the class like Madhyamika to teach you. Some like feel the, oh funny, these are not, it's something they are talking something not possible for your appearance, right? They talk about the mental imputations, they talk about the emptiness. If you say directly, then you will feel confused. We talk about the nothingness. So instead of that, they are talking about the lower schools who talk about the things as how we appear. Then we go to higher schools because of that actually learning. Yeah, lower school have, if you want, if no, if you want to understand the properly the meaning of high school, you need to learn the lower school. Otherwise, no way to learning because there's a, yeah. So the first step is more important to climb the top. Yeah. So so there's also exceptions, right? In Buddhism, they talk about the in general teachings. Yeah, in general teachings and exceptions. Yeah, some people in a one lifetime they attend the liberations. Sometimes they need to take accumulate for 3 events. Yeah, three countless events they talk. It's a long time, but if you do, you can do it. So one thing is now the correct science. First is like correct science of effect, cause and effect. Second is the nature entity, same nature entity, right? So yeah, identity or entity, whatever. E N T I T Y entity, nature, same nature or entity or like nature identity or whatever. So just like we call it how you appear entity, just like you how to say uh, nature or entity. S- things things is we cannot say then it comes with another point of view of if you talk ngobo then it's come another view definitions. Essence na nyingbo, it's not an, and we normally we call it entity or kind of nature actually. Yeah, entities. And so we told it right, same entity different isolation. So impermanence and product are one entity. And the last reason is called non-cognitions. What is in Mamikba before? Mamikba. No, there's a Didarawa. You give me another one. Forget. So what you call the non-cognitions seems like anything we cannot see right now, right? So if I use the reasons here, just like spirit is here or not, we don't know, right? It's it's yeah imperceptible for you, for us. It's there or not, we are now doubt again. One thing is here we cannot say here is a no spirit because being you are not seeing. In my pocket, can you say my pocket don't have dollar? You cannot say why. You cannot precise right like that. So we cannot say over here. We cannot say there's no spirit, being because you cannot. Yeah, that's the point. They are called that non-cognition point of like. Yeah, we need to prove something by high levels of something like that. So these are the main three sign of in divisions in Buddhist philosophy. Yeah, for correct sense there are three kinds of correct sense. Okay, only three. The correct sense of effect and nature or the entity and the non-cognition. These are the three. And Rangshin, Rang Debu, Tedayanda, Rangshin Gitayanda, Mami Gitayanda. Yeah. Uh, uh, no, no, no. Now here talking about the actually the correct reason, we call it correct reasons or correct proof, whatever, actually meaning the same. So we call it tak, tensik, and so on. Actually they define in another way. I just read. So here in the book, if you go for the page number 75, right, if you look for talking about the some school, they don't believe in the what sign reason, right? So we're talking about the prasangika madhyamika. They only talk about the consequence. They never talk about the sign reasons and so on. You got it? So over here in the page 75, it will give you the why they need it and so on. You got it? Did you got something? You don't got it? Any doubts? Any unclear? You can ask. Yeah, these are the three divisions of correct sign. So now what is meant by correct signs is that which possess the three modes of proof is called correct sign. Okay. Nature and non-cognitions, we call it non-cognition. What is it? Mark, you imperceptible. Yeah. They talk about, yeah. Yeah, like they reject in the existence of truly in intrinsic nature, right? Because of that, they are talking about. They don't believe in intrinsic nature, so that's why they don't believe in the sign. Is it Rangshingi Tayanda? So we call it Rangshingi Tayanda. So over here means the Rangshin means naturally, talking about naturally and so on. So they reject that one because of the words naturally. Rangshingi Tayanda. You cannot say, but you have to prove, right? So they are using the consequence. They are using the consequence. So if you go to the page where page number 83, at the last, they give some uh, consequence, right? If you look for the second last line, so like whatever it is product, it necessarily impermanent. For example, a pot and sound is also a product. So these are called the consequence. You see the page number 83 at the last, second last. You got it? So these are the consequence. We talk about the consequence. We say whatever is product, it necessarily be impermanent. For example, pot and sound is also a product. So proving that sound is impermanent because of product is actually proving. Now I told you, right, for the beginning who have totally wrong view. So first they never use the reason directly. They use the consequence, proving like they believe. If you go to the page number 84 again on the top line, 84, right? So over there, whatever is permanent, it necessarily not a product. For example, uncaused space, right? Sound, however, it is a product. So they believe in the Samkhya school. They believe that the sound is product, but they say impermanent. They say impermanent. They believe sound is product, but they still say permanent. So over here they're proving that whatever is, so they say that the subject sound is they're proving that it's unproduct, because the reason they give is permanent. So they cannot believe it's unproduct, because they talk sound is product, right? So reason using like that, the subject sound is unproduct because of what? Permanent. they also believe if it is a permanent, it necessarily be unproduct. Talking like that. So they are contradictions, right? So they are using the view of their own contradictions view, right? So that's why they're proving sound is impermanent, because we're talking about the consequences. They use the consequence. For the beginner, we never use directly the reason. We use the consequence to understand. Yes. So uncaused space is like your mentally imputed space. We call it permanent space. Yeah, that is come without cause and conditions. Because we talk about, I will talk you number one. If you talk about the appearance of your dream elephant, appearance of your dream elephant is permanent. Appearance of appearance, that appearance never will change. It's uh, no. So memory is talking about appearance is totally different. So when you appear, is appear with the generality. So one example is easy. Is if you go for the number one, one is permanent or impermanent. Can one be changed into two because of some product? No. One should be one everywhere, right? One should be same. It's permanent. Is one impermanent? One is impermanent. How it change? It changed to 0 or it changed to 2? How it can change to 2? One is 1 always. If you add 1, then it becomes 2, right? That's different. That 1 is still 1, right? If you add 1 over 1, then if you add 1 to 1, then it becomes 2, right? But 1 itself is not become 2, right? One, yeah, the concept of 1 is talking about the mental concept you are imputing. So they are 1, always 1. They never become 2. You need to think about the concept. You don't need to think about the adding 1 and 1, something like that. What do you say? Yeah, 1 is 1. Yeah. So your mental, we talk mostly in permanent are mostly talking about the conceptual. Right now we talk about the isolate, right? What? Concept is also. Ah, what do you mean the define? What do you mean by define? Yeah. Fact doesn't change, right? So one thing is your isolations. You're isolating books from table. You think about your mental concept, not think about the table and so on. That is permanent, never change. That concept never change. That is called isolate. That is called isolate. Yeah, you are isolating books from the table. Book F isolate, right? No, no. You think isolation of book can be changed? You talk me about that one. How? How? To what? So brain damage is brain problem, not the concept problem, right? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Concept is not changing. So the space and product. now I will tell you one thing. We most of the concept, m- most of the permanent are mentally imputed. We're talking about that. So lower school, the uh, what grade exposition school, they never talk about the mental imputed. That's the one problem. Then second is they talk about the permanent in the Sutik school. They are talking about mentally imputed on the some basis, right? Which say we what uncompounded space we are imputed on some base. Which base we are imputing? We are in a compounded space. We are imputing uncompounded space by mentally. That is yeah. Yes. Ma. That's right. Flat. Not a flat. But we have proof, right? We have proof, right? Scientists have proof. Scientists have proof. That is called scientists have proof, right? Ground. So you use the same reason you are proving wall as a ground or whatever what shape. So that mind is called inferential cognizer. So concept, if you talk really about the concept, right, a little bit difficult to say, but whatever we think that uh, we talk about the isolations. So we are distinguish this from this by isolations. The words is something difficult to say in English. Sometimes we call it dokpa, which is translated into the isolate, kind of like isolate. How you define isolate? Singular entity. It seems like it's difficult. One singular entity. So okay, sorry. Yeah, something extracted from other things is called isolate, right? So isolated of the book is permanent or impermanent. Isolation from the rest of extract from rest of the table. My this book are two books, but have different extract, right? Isolate, but it's a book in general. It's a book, but because of your concept, so I tell you the table, the quality of table is because of changing. It's called impermanent because it was arising produced by something. Is called product. We are isolating product and impermanence because of some actions there. So we are that is called dokpa. It's called isolated. So that is actually the permanent. Yeah, that's the point. When you are understanding the pen, you are rejecting other things, right? What? So, uh, you talk about the dogma. So one example I give you, right? Table have lots of quality, changing chemical, whatever. So table is changing moment by moment. That is called impermanent. And table is usable. That is called things. And table is produce. That is called product, right? So we are isolating produce impermanent from other things, making isolate different because of the your concept. You are dividing other things from impermanent. Table is being impermanent. When we describe impermanent, right? So whatever we think we have different concept on that one. Mental thought, right? Appearance, mental appearance. They are isolating different way. So now he must give you the example, right? When we talk about the impermanence of the table, we are rejecting things and so on. When we talk about just like neglecting, talk about the pen, right? He give the example like pen. So when you see the pen, you are neglecting. This is not a books. Pen is, yeah. This is not a bicycle. This is not a human. We are rejecting, right? Neglecting all other, rejecting. So we say this is pen, right? Yes, you are separating, right? Then you are separating pen is from non-pen. Not that is not a pen. Yeah, actually you are rejecting other when you see the pen. What is it? Break one. So you that is concept. Laura, that all are mental consciousness. We are using mental consciousness. We are not using the sense consciousness. Beginning we remember sense consciousness are what? Dumb, right? You remember sense consciousness are dumb. Sense consciousness only see. He cannot differentiate what is that. Who differentiate mentally? So who isolated are did by mentally, not by eye consciousness. Yeah. What do you say? This is likely to change. So this is whether this is where no okay whether you in a lower school, whether you in a high school, they talk same. Yeah, this is same. There's a lot of things they are same. Yeah, there are lots of things they are same, but some. How many people are in high school? Who say? Of course, it's your own depend on your intelligence. Not karma, it's on your intelligence, how you use your intelligence. It's true. If you use your intelligence to analyze, then it will happen. So just like no, one thing is, eh, eh, yeah. So when we talk about the high schools or lower school, no, when you talk about the high schools or lower school, they are not dealings. They are not dealings with the normal how we think describe. They are dealing with the main view. So just like when we talk about the emptiness, selflessness, what is the selflessness in the high school? Dealing with that one, not dealing with the how they talk about the isolation, how they talk about the consciousness, right? They are dealing with the view. What is the main view of Madhyamika? Then we can call, if you understand the emptiness of the Madhyamika, then you are called Madhyamika school person. If you don't understand or you just study, then you are not a Madhyamika school. You are just studying that one. That's the point. Yeah. So one thing is Hinayana school, lower school, they receive teachings from Buddha about Mahayana. Mahayana teaching they received from Buddha, but they never do the practice. Though then they give the teaching for other. What they hear, they give teaching for other, for Mahayana schools, other people. They are called hearer. They hear, then give the teaching for other. They never do practice. So because of that, they are called hearer. Like that. So if you right now if you talk about the high school, lower school, it's mostly dealing with the emptiness, the man ultimate view. What is the ultimate view of Madhyamika school? What is ultimate view of mind-only school? What is the ultimate view of Sutik schools? What is the ultimate view of Great Exposition school? So dealing with them, whether you are in the lower school, whether you are in high school, whatever, if dealing with the what? Talking about the view, ultimate view, the nature of talking about how the things exist naturally, talking about understanding of that one. Huh? What do you mean? So one thing is, hundred deities of Tushidari PLN. Midawa.
concept is not teaching, right?
So, 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 so one thing. Whether you dealings with the permanent things or impermanent. So just like if I say give the number one, right? The example is I give you number one. I never give you the concept of person. I give you number one. The one, number one, the thing, no, you have to think the number one can be changed or not. You don't think about your how you feel like how you are thinking about number one. You just think about the number one. It's changing or not. No, just number one. You don't deal with your concept. You just think about the number one. So no need to deal with your concept of number one as a number one as a. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let me try another. Let me change. Instead of saying your relationship to the concept, how about this? And forget about one for a second. Let's talk about a triangle. It's impossible to draw or even imagine a four-sided triangle. Impossible. Can you? Draw me a four-sided triangle. Draw me a four-sided triangle. Triangle. The concept triangle is well, triangle concept whatever because
Say what?
it's impossible to draw a four-sided triangle without
What
changing
I
the
say?
parameters of what triangle means.
Mental imputed. One.
It's again
What?
well
No, no. Just like
the,
just things. Whatever you call something changeable is called impermanent, right? Right. Something changeable is called impermanent. You isolate that from the permanent. That isolate is permanent. If you think about that one,
it's a
now you that you are also dealing with the you are you are mostly dealing with the if I talk with the isolate of impermanent, then you think that isolate itself is changing or something like. It's not the way of this one. Just like if you talk about isolate means neglecting how to say neglecting the non of other than the like impermanent. Just like we talk about the pen, right? Pen. When you see the pen, the mentally isolate differentiating. So that point is called permanent. Actually, the pen we are not dealing only with the pen. It's the concept we are using isolate that pen from this pen, that pen from other pen. Yeah, isolate itself is permanent. We are talking about. We are not talking about the pen. We are talking about the isolation itself. So with actually the if you how to say the topic itself is very complicated because within the topic of just like when we learning in Tibetan words, we have to think lots because very difficult to understand that point. Just like
So the answer lies in the definition of a concept, which is beniguchi, that which is neither mental nor physical. So everything else we've been talking about, the concept is, or the mental relationship. That was my mistake because that's a mental thing. So it's not the concept. Now, I still think that the problem comes down to the translation of the word takpa as permanent it opens up a box of larger problems for us in English because permanent means forever. And the definition used in Tibetan is changing or unchanging. Unchanging. Takpa is unchanging.
you need to go. Yes, I'm looking for something. The only thing is, so space we are talking about uncompounded space and the space. This also space. This space is called impermanent. You got it? This space is space, right? This is called impermanent. So one thing is we are imputing. So so one so one over here. I will read the verse from Dharmakirti commentary on Dinagas. Because of all things naturally abide, 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 right? In their own entity, right? They have to be depends on isolate from other similar things. You got it? So like meaning of isolation is like that which is reversed from not being one with itself. It's called isolated. Yeah, we are talking about that particular function. It's called permanent. We can say I don't know if I told you the function, then I walk. So then you concept. Yeah, that's why actually that what is different language have different words, so different meanings. So that's why we cannot get a proper words to fix it the words properly. Yes. So yeah, that's right. So when we talk about uncompounded space or uncaused space, whatever, so we're talking about the unchangeable kind of things. That is actually mental imputed. Not not really you cannot see like that. So imputed on which base you need to put something imputed on the some base. So we call it compounded space. On the compounded space you are mentally put unchangeable something. That is called uncompounded space. So it's mentally imputed actually. Yeah, just like you are. So lower schools they also yeah basis. So you are uh, uncompounded space you are imputed on the base of compounded space. Yeah, basis is compounded space. Actually, this space is called compounded space. So we are mentally imputed, just like not changeable, not changing, and so on. That is called uncompounded space. We are mentally imputed actually. So just like sky, high fly sky. So we think everywhere same. So we are mentally imputed unchangeable on that one. That is called uncompounded space. That is called you are mentally imputed on which base? The compounded space. So we, yeah, yeah, this space and whatever the sky. So it's actually compound space when we. So just like a flight can go through, right? If it is permanent, not possible. So that's why it's changeable. The space is changing, right? When it's flight come, it's covered the space and so on. Space, it's when we talk about the compounded space, then the basis for the uncompounded space is impermanent. That is called compounded space. So this space is called compounded space. It's changeable. Yeah. So you are imputing something, a space that is unchangeable but mentally. That is called uncompounded space. You cannot find out which is cannot show because you are mentally imputing. You are not even in general talking. We are not talking about you. We are talking the mentally general. I, I'm you doesn't mean so I'm focusing on you. Okay, so mentally imputed. Mentally imputed. How you see? Can you see the space far away? No, right? It's changeable or not changeable? How you feel? Tell truth. Changeable. Be far from the sky. Changeable. How? The- so no nothing. You think about your front table. You are imputed table or not? You are not imputing. The one who give the name is imputing. You are giving like that. Your example like that. You say you tell him that you are not imputing. Mark imputed. Mark told them also you. Yeah, process of labeling actually. Process of labeling itself is permanent. Yeah, process leveling itself is not a. So one thing is yeah, actually very difficult to explain because I cannot see it properly. Yeah. So one thing, some of the things we just need to things might be like exist like this. We cannot show everything everything. That's the point. So might we take break?